Kris here, doing Telly time, episode 103, and this time I'm doing the 2026 metal tag, because it's about the only thing that inspires me to do any videos these days, things like this. So, yeah, it's metal tag 2026 time. So, happy 2026. I hope you're all having a fabulous new year, and all of that. But without further ado, because one of my New Year's resolutions was to make slightly shorter videos, so don't hold me to that though, kids. So let's crack on. I won't do any band updates, although there's a few, although one of the questions I'm going to answer with band updates, so, well, an update of sorts anyway, so yeah. So we'll crack on with that. Respectables on. Let's get going, kids. Metal Tag 2026. There were 20 questions. I always like doing this. It was Scott in Scotland that originally started these off. Great idea. He's not had a YouTube channel for a bit now, so I've forgotten the fucking name of the channel that's doing it. Anyway, there's a link to the video below of the original one, with the 20 questions on it and so forth, although they're probably listed below, but let's crack on regardless. So, 20 questions for the Metal Tag 2026. And without further ado, question 1. Giddy up. It's the year of the horse, or the fire horse, as the question said. So, find an album with a horse on the cover. Slightly easier said than done, I thought, when I realised going into it. Although I found two for you. The first one, there's one, I was going to mention this one anyway, so... But it is Big Business's, I mean, when was this, 2021? Absolutely not, no, 2016, it was ages ago. Their last great album, I would say. In fact, I feel like they've only done one since this. But yeah, Command Your Weather, a cracking track. I bought this up in Newcastle, at the record shop there near the railway station. Can't remember the name of it. Beatdown? Is it Beatdown? Yeah. Bought this up there with a picture disc of So Far So Good So What, if I remember rightly. But anyway, this has got a horse on the front cover, and it's a great album. If you don't know about it, check it out. However, that's not my answer. Here's me getting all concise from my videos. They are horse. Storm of the Light's Bane. This is my unofficial copy, but about the only copy I'm going to get hold of, quite frankly. But thanks to Johnny Mac Rock and Metal Plus, shout out Johnny, who afforded me a link as to where I can find these, and I found a absolutely luxurious copy of it. It might not be official, it might be a boot technically, but I tell you what, it's a top-notch copy of it. The artwork's all good. Black vinyl. Let's not get excitable, kids. But yeah, so there, answer to question 1, album with a horse on the front cover, Storm of the Light's Bane, Dissection, Wallop. Okay, question 2. Nostalgia. Quite a good question, this one. I like this. An album you don't think is really that good, but that you can't part with. Now, this one that I'm about to show you was going to be an answer to one of the later questions, but anyway, I've had a bit of a mishmash and decided I'm going to go with this one. And I don't like it. I think it's a dull album and one that I never go to. But the reason that I've kept it and that I can't part with it is it completes my vinyl collection of this band. It's this, Mr. Bungle's last release, whenever that was. It's fucking going back a while now, 2020. The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny. This should work. It's a reworking of most of Bungle's demo stuff. The demo of the same title. With an absolute stellar cast of musicians on it. You've got Patton and Trevor Dunn of Bungle fame, but with Dave Lombardo on drums and Scott Ian on guitars, and and Trace Bruns is on it as well, isn't he? Yeah, the other Bungle man. Yeah, Trace, the other guitarist. There is no reason why this shouldn't work, but I just can't like it. It just feels like, I know it's a reworking of the late 80s demos of the band. Yeah, I appreciate that. But it just feels like tired old thrash. Now, this alludes to, and I'm going to try not to go too far off topic here, but this alludes to a conversation that I was having with my mate Lee, shout out Lee, at the annual Crow's Blood Christmas Curry Night Out that we had recently. And I threw the hand grenade into the conversation, but we were largely in agreement on that I don't think thrash metal's aged at all well. at all well, apart from some of the classics. The early Metallica stuff, yeah, of course. The early Slayer stuff, yeah, of course. The 3 albums that are any good by Megadeth, yeah, of course. When the Bay Area scene was in its full force, its full surge in the late 80s, yeah, I think a lot of that has aged okay. A lot of the other stuff's aged like fucking milk, quite frankly. And this just feels like that. It just feels tired. It feels dated. It should work, but for me, it doesn't. I know I've got friends on here that will be cursing me because they're like, you need to try again. It's great. And I should like it. And that's sort of partly the reason I've kept it. A, because I've got everything else that Bungle have done on vinyl. So it completes the collection. But I've kept it because to complete the collection, but also to I kind of want to like it, but I can't. So yeah, that's my answer to number 2, Nostalgia. An album that you don't think's very good, but can't part with. There you are. Number 3, GOAT, the greatest of all time, or the greatest of 2025 of such. Show your favourite album from 2025. If any of you watched my previous video, which was my albums of 2025, you'll know which it is. It's this. Death Heaven's latest. It was a mighty close top 4. But in the end, this came out on top. It is for me, and I'm a massive fan of Death Heaven. I like everything that they've done. I've got most of their collection. I'm only missing 1 or 2 on vinyl. In fact, I'm only missing 1 on vinyl, I want to say. Yeah, I'm only missing 1. The debut, the first one. Anyway, this is their latest one, and it is absolutely monstrous. It's a masterclass. I loved it, as I said on my album of the year, so I won't go into too much detail. I loved the last album as well, Infinite Granite, that definitely polarised opinions, and that is the understatement of the century. But I think this is just Death Heaven firing on all cylinders. It's got the greatness of Infinite Granite that I liked in there. Only sparingly, though. There is not a lot of it. For those of you that didn't like that album, you'll be quite pleased. It is only sparingly there, but there's enough of it to remind me of just the quality they have when they slightly go down that sort of post-black shoegazy vibe. But yeah, they're back at it. And it's an absolutely stellar record. All killer, no filler. And my favourite album of 2025. Death Heaven's Lonely People with Power. Okay, number 4, From Beyond. A favourite album of mine that isn't metal. I could have picked loads of these. I nearly picked a Tears for Fears record. I nearly picked a Madness record. Nearly picked a Specials record. And then I remembered, and this kind of was almost the answer to another one of the questions, but I'm going to show off my, I don't think it's an original press, but it's definitely from mid-late 70s, so it's an almost original that I got from a friend, very kindly. Shout out, good friend. Yeah, Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. If you don't know what that cover is, you fucking should do. I love this era of Pink Floyd, and this is my favourite record of theirs. I nearly picked Animals, but that's my second favourite record of theirs. Nearly picked the other one with the prism on the front of it. What the fuck's it called? Anyway, I've forgotten the name of it. The most famous one of theirs. Nearly picked that one. But yeah, it's this one. This is my, what was the question again? A favourite album that isn't metal. This is most definitely not metal, but this is, if I have a long soak in the bath, this is what I like to put on as the vibes for it, with a, you know, a nice glass of Baby Sham and perhaps a Cuban cigar. But anyway, this, it's absolutely elite tier is this record. It's really depressing. It's massive. It's soundscapey. It's got great Gilmore solos on it. It's fucking ace. So my answer to question 4, From Beyond, a favourite album that isn't metal. Question 5, The Unknown. Show an LP or an album that you can't really recall seeing on here at any point. I'm going to show this, and I will guarantee that someone's shared this. Somebody must have shared this. It's probably been shown countless times, but I've not seen it. It is Strigoy's latest album, last album. I say latest because it's a few years going on, but is this like 2022? 23? Anyway, it's their last album so far. And it's absolutely monstrous. If you don't know about Strigoi, why is my question? Because it's Greg McIntosh out of Paradise Lost. It's his latest sort of side project. With shout out to my friends in this band, Ben Ash, Chris Casket. Shout out, guys. Top bananas, the pair of you, who were on this album. And it's absolute class. If you liked Valenfire, and I liked Valenfire, then it's not exactly the same because it doesn't have that kind of hardcore, crusty, sludgy awesomeness, fast-paced stuff to it. It's all very slow, very doomy, very evil and nasty sounding. And it's Greg doing his fucking magnificent growls over the top of it. It is an absolutely cracking record, is this, and it should get much more love than it does. It's is it called Viscera? I want to say it's called Viscera. Don't tell me title on these things. Yeah, it's got Viscera written in massive letters down the side spine. It's absolute class. You should all talk about this more. If you don't know about it, go out and get it. There's probably still copies around. This is the first press black vinyl, 700 copies released. I'm sure there's still a few floating around out there. Get it bought. Strigoi, Viscera, an album that I don't recall seeing a lot of and more people should be shouting out about. So yeah, get that in your ear pipes. Okay, number 6, Front Loaded. An album where the first track's the best. I could probably think of loads of these. And yeah, and I think I went down the track of thinking an album where the first track's the only good one on it, and sort of, but that wasn't the question, where the first track's the best. So they might all be good, but what's your favourite? And I nearly picked So Far, So Good, So What, Megadeth, because the opening track, Into the Lungs of Hell, is my favourite track on that album. It's absolutely monstrous. A quick 3 and a bit minutes of absolute furious instrumental awesomeness. And I think that's why I like it most, because I use the word there, the key word, instrumental. It's not got Dave Mustaine fucking wailing over the top of it. But although that album is comfortably his best vocal performance by a country mile, personally. So Far, So Good, So What. But I didn't pick that, so stop rambling, Chris. I picked this. Let's go off the beaten track. It is the Mahavishnu Orchestra. John McLaughlin, no relation. And the Mahavishnu Orchestra with The Inner Mounting Flame. The opening track, Meeting of the Spirit, is comfortably the best song on this album. And it's absolutely monstrous. It's just, if you like jazz fusion, which most of you probably won't, then if you don't know about this, check it out. It's got some of John McLaughlin's finest fucking widdly solos over the top of it. It's just one of those building, sort of cyclic jazz fusion numbers, classically, but it just builds into a sort of, it's furious, the soloing and the, it builds and it builds and it builds. I was very lucky. The one time that I saw Cynic live on the Focus tour, they played Rio's in Bradford in 93, and they played a cover of this opening track, Meeting of the Spirit. Absolutely elite tier, but yeah, it's the best track on this record, track 1. Yeah, so yeah, my answer to question 6, Front Loaded, an album where the first track is the best. The Inner Mounting Flame, Meeting of the Spirit by the Mahavishnu Orchestra. Okay, number 7, Encore, an album that would have been better if it were longer. I suppose any of my favourite albums would be better if they were longer. Having said that though, and I think it was The Beast, shout out Sean, I think on his video of this, he said something along the lines of that if it's longer, it changes the dynamic of that record. So he kind of, I might be misquoting you there, Sean, but someone's video was like, didn't really answer that question, because it was like, if you elongate it, it changes that album fundamentally. And I agree with that statement. However, I harked back to when I reviewed this on a video way back when. I remember saying I wish it were longer. The band is Mountaineer. The album is Giving Up the Ghost. It's not their most recent one. This is the 2022 album, I'm going to say. 2022, yes. And it was a follow-up to my favourite album of theirs, Bloodletting, and that is still my favourite album of theirs, comfortably. This is really, really good, and it's got some stellar tunes on it, of which, though, there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 6 tracks on it. 1, 2... Oh, Christ knows. Yeah, anyway, it's either 5 or 6 tracks. It's an album, but in reality, it's an EP. It feels like an EP. It's done and dusted after about 28 minutes, I want to say, something like that. Now, there are albums out there that we all know and love that are about 28 minutes and are absolutely fine. But, yeah, I wanted more off of this. I think because it followed their absolutely stellar work, and it was there and gone, and yeah, it was, I wanted to live with it longer. It's still a great album, but yeah, I wish it were longer. Mountaineers, Giving Up the Ghost from 2022. Shout out Mountaineer, great band. Okay, Fail, an album that you bought that disappointed you. Right, well, there's a couple that I can't that I've not got physical of. And I suppose an answer to this question is that, and I've alluded to it on several other videos over the years. I've only got room for a limited collection. I don't have room to stack, to store shit, ultimately. Now, some of you would argue that some of what I maintain in my collection is shit, but that's for another day, that discussion. But yeah, if it's shit, I tend to get rid of it. I don't keep it, or I don't even buy it in the first place, because what I tend to do is I'll stream it first, and then I can gauge after a couple of listens, yeah, that's class, I need that in the collection, or, so I nearly picked Carnival Bazaar by Cathedral. I did own that on CD. I haven't got it anymore. I think I gave it to a mate because it did not float my boat. I've mentioned this on other videos as well. I thought it was largely shite. I still think it's largely shite. It was such a disappointment after the Ethereal Mirror. Well, after the Static Magic EP, that was the last thing that Adam was on. And I've said this before, I feel like Cathedral's quality, and don't get me wrong, Adam didn't write everything great. Gaz was responsible for a lot of my favourite tunes off of Forest, off of Ethereal Mirror, off of the EPs, Static Magic and Soul Sacrifice. And the demo, of course, as well. But stop rambling, Kris. Yeah, but just that lack of... I think what I've heard a story, and this might be like an urban myth, but I've heard the story because Tony Iommi, the god Tony Iommi, guests on the Carnival Bazaar. And I've heard the story that he told them, you don't need harmonies. It's heavy enough with just the straight guitar. Wrong, Tony. Wrong. I'm not saying that for everyone. I agree with his sentiment that you don't necessarily need to harmony the guitars for it to be heavy and doomy. I agree with that. But it was wrong in Cathedral's instance. He gave that advice to the wrong band. And I think they suffered enormously ever since then. There is only, is it the End Time album that I thought was all right since... that new single that come out last year or whatever, which I think was a holdover tune from It Goes On Forever, is it like half hour or something? That was all right, but it was very few and far between. So... Anyway, that's not the one I've picked, so stop talking about it, Kris. There was also, is it the No Cross, No Crown Corrosion of Conformity album? I've got that back there. I probably should have dug that out. I remember being really disappointed with that. It was like the return of Pepper Keenan, and it wasn't as good as I'd hoped it was going to be anyway. But this one, and I've brought out this one because this was an enormous disappointment when I bought it, and I did not like it at all. All those kind of keys all over the top of it. That were really imposing, and they took away from some pretty kick-ass straight-up death metal. However, it kind of fermented in my brain, and there were tracks on it that were really, really good, like the opening track, Lake of Fire. There's Visions from Beyond the Grave. That's an absolute fucking belter. BCAD, is it Destroying the Manger? Anyway, there's loads of it. It's an absolute classic record, is this, I realised after a while. But one that I was hugely, hugely disappointed with when I bought it. I bought it literally because it was on Ear 8 Records. It was at the time then when records were cheap enough for you to kind of check, oh, that's on that label. I like the artwork. It's Dan Seagrave artwork. Let's check it out. It's the guy from Morbid Angel. What could possibly go wrong? Did not like it at all at first. However, it's grown on me, and I think this is an absolute cult classic, this record. It's fantastic. The key, the follow-ups, this one, fantastic. Whatever the fucking follow-up's called with the spaceship on the front of it, that's all right, but it's not a patch on this, and then everything that they've done sort of since I've largely ignored. But, yeah, an album that I thought was a fail at first, but isn't. So that's why I thought, let's go for a redemption arc for that question. So the question, fail, an album that you bought that disappointed you. That, it did at first, but I grew to love it. Okay. Question 9, The Return. Show an album that I played in 2025 that I haven't played in over a year. And this is one of them where it comes back fleetingly. It's an absolute classic. It's a classic record. But I realised that I've not had it on in a few years, and I think this was from a discussion with Lee or someone where we were just on about what a great album this was, and I thought, I'm going to dive back into that. And it's still as awesome as it ever was. It's Alice in Chains' seminal second album. I won't use the word sophomore, although I've just used it. Alice in Chains' second record and finest hour. Dirt. What an album. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I've not spun this record, or even had it on the iPod or the phone or whatever it is where I largely listen to my music. I've not had it on in ages for reasons unknown. Thought, let's dive back into it. Oh, honestly, it's a tour de force. It is a journey. It's so depressing. It's like I think I said on another video, it is a doom record. It's as doom as you're gonna get is this album from a band that were not a doom band, but absolute classic. So yeah, question 9, The Return, an album that I played in 2025. I've not played in over a year. Alice in Chains is Dirt. Question 10, Joker, an album with funny artwork. I nearly picked the Sacred Sun albums because most of them have got the guy behind Sacred Sun on his holidays, which I do find quite amusing, sort of holiday snaps for a black metal album. But I'm going to pick this, which is a death metal classic with some of the worst artwork I've ever seen personally. It's the Baphomet, The Dead Shall Inherit album. And, I mean, it should work. It's rustic. But yeah, I'm not spooked at all by the zombies creeping from the graves on the front one. I've always thought. I remember when I first saw this way back when. I remember thinking, Jesus Christ, that's a bad cover. Yeah, and it's not improved over the years. I think it's a comically bad fucking death metal cover to a great death metal album. Not the absolute classic that some people out there consider it to be, but I think it's a perfectly worthy, decent album. But yeah, a comically bad front cover for me personally. I'll let you argue about it in the comments if you want. Don't really care. I think it's a terrible cover. Okay, right. Question 11, Yearning, an album release that I'm anxiously waiting for in 2026. So I'm going to go all selfish on this one. And twofold, most definitely. The upcoming new Godthrim album, Projections, that's going to be out, I don't know, April, May-ish, something like that, of this year via Profound Law Records. I can't wait for you all to hear that. I'm so proud to have been a part of the whole writing process for this album, the whole riffing process for this album. It's just the whole birth of it from start to finish, the process of getting all the songs together, recording them. It's been an absolute blast and I'm absolutely loving it. I've had it on in the car relentlessly. We've got the final mixes back and they're all, in fact, I think they've literally just gone off for mastering. So they'll be mastered soon. And then, yeah, that'll be out via Profound Law Records. Like I say, probably end of April earliest, likely May, I'm going to guess. And then I'll talk about launch gigs and all that kind of stuff. But for the minute, you'll just have to wait. But I cannot wait for that to come out, the new Godthrim album. I also cannot wait for the new Crow's Blood album to come out. Shout out to everyone that's particularly the Beast, who put it on his answer to this question as well, that he can't wait for it. I hope it doesn't disappoint you all. But if I do say myself, it's absolute class. Me, Lee, Aki and Paul put in a proper shift for that. It was such an enjoyable experience recording it up at Deepstone Productions in South Lanarkshire in Scotland. Shout out Kev, who recorded it. Top man. Kev is also the man behind Coven's Sorrows album as well. So the man has got some stellar recording chops to his name. So check out things with Kev Hare's name on it. Shout out Kev, top man. Yeah, I can't wait for you to hear that. I don't know if I might insert a sneak peek of the album artwork as well down below. Little sneak peek, that's all it is. But yeah, I can't wait for that to come out. Green Saber, the whole reason behind this channel. We are also going to be recording our full feature length. It's probably not going to be much longer than the demo, quite honestly. But we're going to be recording that this year. I would hope that a label will put it out for us, but we'll wait and see. I've got enough fingers in pies currently for, I think, to probably put the squeeze on someone to waste money on it and put it out for us. But yeah, in the meantime, we're going to be recording that in earnest. It will be 2 new tracks. I say we did record Mountain Up last year, but it's very much a work in progress, and the timing didn't work out brilliantly. We started recording Mountain Up right as the Godthrim stuff got at full tilt. So my my focus was taken away from mine and Hamish's focus was taken away from the Green Saber stuff for now. But for good, because I think having lived with that recording that we did of Mountain last year, for as long as I have, it's given me some really good ideas with what to do to just sort of spruce it up. So yeah, the idea is that the Green Saber album that will be out at the back end of this year, probably November, around that neck of the woods, will be 2 demo tracks, 2 new tracks, 1 brand new one as well. I know some of you might be a bit disappointed. Oh, we're only getting 2 new tracks. Yes, you are. Jesus Christ, people. Just be thankful for what you are getting. But anyway, yeah, so my answer to question 11, yearning album releases that I'm anxiously excited about in 2026. Mine. So yeah, that's my answer. Number 12, Collector Scum. In your collection, is there a pesky gap in a band's discography that I'm hoping to fill? Yes, there bloody well is. This. Shout out again, Johnny Mac Rock and Metal Plus for putting this my way. Absolute top banana. I owe you an enormous pint, amongst other things, John. If I ever get out and see you at a gig at some point, it's increasingly difficult to do. I was hoping to get to Dead of Winter at the end of this month, at the end of January, but it's not going to happen. It's something that I need to be able to ping in and out of, and I can't. To get up to Glasgow, it's going to involve accommodation, or the mother of all fucking road trips, and also it's fallen on the same weekend as a festival down here in Bradford that a mate's band are playing at, so I need to show my face at that, realistically. So sorry I'm not going to get out to that, and sorry to all the others of you watching this that are up there at that. Appalls, guys. I will get there at some point, though, don't worry. Hey, maybe I'll play it one day with Crow's Blood. Who knows? Watch this space. Rain Chaos, Dissection. So I drifted off the point there, but yeah, Collector Scum. A pesky gap in my collection that I need remedying. You can see that I've got it on CD form. I want this on vinyl. This has to be repressed on vinyl. It is an absolutely stellar record. I'm not entertaining any of that nonsense from any of you that say that this is a shit album because you've listened to it incorrectly. Go back and listen again. Well, I'm not really into melodic death metal, though. Well, I don't really care. This is Dissection and Jon Nordved firing on all cylinders. It is an absolutely mesmerising work of genius, as this record, and I can't speak highly enough of it. It's right up there. All 3 Dissection albums are without fault, and this is also without fault. They're all 10 out of 10, all of them. It's absolute class. I want this on vinyl. Please repress this. Jon, if you're watching from the gates of hell or wherever it is that you ended up, get your man who's looking after the Dissection discography, archive, whatever you want to call it, legacy. Get this repressed on vinyl. Not bothered about colour. Black is probably more fitting, but repress it for the sake of Christ. Repress Storm at Lightsbane while you're at it as well. But more importantly for me, because I've just got a perfectly acceptable vinyl copy of that, repress this, because I can't find it for love nor money. The CD will have to do, but get it on vinyl. Yes, so my answer to 12, Collector Scum. I need that on vinyl. 13, Evolution, a band or album that moved its genre forward creatively. Great question, this, and a few that I could have put my finger on and thought of. But I'm currently reading the biography about the band, and it's called No Celebration. I forget what it is. It's over there. It's a really good book, and it reminded me this. Paradise Lost's Gothic, probably my second favourite and most influential album of all time. Second favourite album, most influential album, possibly. Paradise Lost's Gothic, it is absolutely stunning and so ahead of the curve back then. This came out in 91 and it's so atmospheric. There's just... It completely changed the landscape of Doom, and there were so many pretender bands, including some of my earlier stuff that I did as a kid because of my shameless Greg worship. But it changed the landscape. It did. People all of a sudden realised that Doom wasn't just Sabbath, wasn't just Trouble, wasn't just sort of cathedral and pagan altar and yeah, and all that kind of early Doom stuff. It broke the mold. Their debut, Lost Paradise, is very much a death doom record. This moves so far away from that, but yet keeps its sensibilities. It is so influential that, I mean, it's pointless me. We're at half an hour, so I need to wrap this up. But yeah. To answer that question 13, a band or album that moves its genre forward creatively. I can't really look any further than this. This completely changed the doom landscape for me. And still stands up to this day. It is an absolutely exceptional piece of work. Paradise Lost, Gothic, original press on written vinyl. Thank you very much. Okay, 14, Told You So. An album that someone recommended enough for me to go out and purchase. And it was this, and I feel like it might have been Altars of Madness, who always raves about this album and this band, and rightly so, because it's absolutely stunning. I'm fairly certain it was one of his videos, but it was someone's video on here. Maguire's Exercises in Futility. It's their finest hour, although I like all their back catalogue, to be fair. But this is just an absolutely stellar piece of work. It's stunning. Again, atmosphere, consistency, the harsh guitar tones, the absolutely bleak lyrical content. It is a modern black metal masterclass. And I say modern because it's probably must be at least 10 or 11 year old now. Is it 2015 this? Or possibly even earlier? Anyway, wow. Yeah, recommended it. I thought, right, okay, let's check this out. When did I say? It's probably about 3 or 4 years ago that I discovered this band. Maybe 4, something like that. But I've never looked back. So thank you, whomever it was. Like I say, I think it was Altars of Madness. Shout out. But yeah, holy moly, great googly moogly, etc. An absolutely fucking stunning piece of work. So thanks for the recommendation. Okay, question 15. King Cheese. Recommend a power metal album to Marty that you think is exceptional. No, I'm not recommending a power metal album because power metal is fucking garbage. It's awful fucking stuff. Stop listening to it, people. It's fucking shite. However, I'm gonna recommend something better to you. And this is better than power metal. I mean, it's kind of power metal. It's what we termed as sword metal. Now, entertain me here. This is a project from the early 90s. Tainted Steel. Sword Metal 2. I've got Sword Metal 1 somewhere, but I can't find the cassette. But this was an official product from Total Warrior Records. Right, you'll all be sitting here looking blank at this. Tainted Steel are the greatest sword metal band that ever lived. It comprises, it's a two-piece band, although we have lots of session musicians within it. It's Ragstag Gizzard Grinder on vocals and Sladbuck the Vicious on guitar. Sladbuck is myself. Ragstag Gizzard Grinder is my brother Matty. Shout out our kid. We used to basically have a cassette player that we press record on and literally make up shit as we went along. The idea came from a piss take of Manowar and Skyclad, in a sense, where we decided, let's do sword metal. I think it was a piss take of Manowar because of the whole kind of Mighty Battle Conan film type sort of vibe. But also it's the debut Skyclad album, Wayward Sons of Mother Earth. Martin Walker is on the back of it holding a sword and he's got like a chainmail on or some sort of shit and he's looking there. So the idea literally came from that, where me and our kid decided, let's do a piss take kind of power metal-y, whatever it is, band. Tainted Steel. And here you are. If there is enough of a clamour to get this recorded, it's one of them kind of guilty pleasures that me and our kid have always said, we should probably record that up properly at some point. I have musicians in the background as well who are willing to put this, to commit this to physical as well, whether it ever happens or not. But maybe I should start a crowdfunder, but if you want to hear the classic tracks, Let's Pillage the Village, The Soothsayer, March for the Devil, Ekel Feckin, Games with Satan, I can't remember, but lots of other fucking ridiculous titles. Have I written any of them down here? Probably not. But Hard as Iron, Sharp as Steel, The Kings of the Sword, Heavy Metal, Overdrive. These were all, basically, we'd press go at record on the cassette player. Our kid would make up lyrics over the top of made-up riffs that I would put down. And it was all very gallopy, very fucking stupid. But yeah, so there's a recommendation to you. You can't find it anywhere. Maybe I'll do you a physical. But if you're interested enough in it, Marty, Tainted Steel, the greatest power metal / sword metal band that has ever lived. Right, okay, that's my stupid answer to question 15. Question 16, 2 Minutes to Midnight, last album that I bought in 2025. It was this. It's in my albums of the year, and as I was extolling its virtues on my album of the year list, I realised I desperately need that on vinyl, so I went out and got it. It's the Brain's latest album, Crazy Monster. It's absolute class. The opening track, Evil, brilliant. One More Time, class. Sort of Dropkick Murphys vibe to it in places. Psychobilly, if you don't know anything about it. Feel No Pain, brilliant. Crazy Monster, brilliant. Candy, Apple, Red, brilliant. It's the black, red with black swirl vinyl copy of it. If you like psychobilly, rock and roll, punky kind of stuff, fast-paced, get all over this. It's absolute class. And I bought it after having done my album of the year, realising I need that on physical. Bought it and it arrived on the 30th of January. So just made it here. So that's my latest purchase. Okay. 17, Brain Drain. When feeling musical burnout, name a nostalgic album that gets me excited again and gets me back into music. So, Shameless album. Hawk again. Time to show this. I think I've shown this on 90% of my videos across the years. But if ever I'm feeling burnout from music, and like I say, I'm cyclic with this album. It comes around every couple of years where I just dive back into it and remember how absolutely majestic it is. Cathedrals, Forest of Equilibrium. This is my 2022 reissue. But I've got countless. I'm proper collector scum with this album. The only one I'm missing is the cassette. I've got everything else. So, yeah, whenever I'm feeling down and blue and lonely about music, I fire that back on and it reminds me just how great everything is in the world. Current politics, withstanding. Okay, that's my answer to question 17. Question 18. There's Wally, or Waldo, as the Americans would like to call it. It's your idea, so let's call him Waldo. But we call him Where's Wally? There's Wally, though. Okay, stop talking, Kris. Show a classic album that you overlooked for years, but loved as soon as you heard it. This. Jeff Buckley's Grace. This was inspired by a video of Mark G with a C, forgotten the name of his new channel. He's renamed his channel. Anyway, Mark G with a sheesh. I'm sure he doesn't indulge in those kind of things. Mark G with a C. On one of his videos, recommended this, Jeff Buckley's Grace. And I thought, I respect your opinion, Mark G with a C. I'm going to go out and investigate this. Now, I knew about this person. I'd heard about him because the grunge scene at the time, Soundgarden and Chains and stuff like that in the early 90s, were always banging on about this fella. But someone that I never investigated. Why I didn't still haunts me to this day, because this is mesmerising. Good Lord above. Jeff Buckley, Grace. The track Grace. Wow. The track Mojo Pin. Wow. Last Goodbye's great. His cover of Hallelujah's fabulous on it. Lovers Should Have Come Over. So yeah, that's my answer to question 18. A classic album that I overlooked for years, but loved as soon as I heard it. Jeff Buckley's Grace. Okay. Question 19. Hello, my name is... Was there a video or stream that I was part of in 2025 that I'm particularly proud of? No, no, there was not. I've had invites to do streams, and I like watching them whenever I can tap into them. And I would love to do more. I'd love to have been on the autopsy ranking and stuff like that, but I just can't. They fall at times to do it. They're so long as well. They're like 3 hours plus. I just can't commit to that much time to sort of live stream and all that. So I think they're great, but I can't commit to doing the stream thing. I'd love to do more, yeah. So keep the invites coming in, but one day I might reappear for one or two. But yeah, it's a big commitment which I can't commit to. Also as well, that I find that you'll notice that the videos have dropped off on this. I found that committing to a weekly video is hard enough, quite frankly. And ultimately, I do this just really as a promotion of my own fucking stupidity, but as a promotion of the bands and the work I'm doing in bands, which largely, the videos that I do that are largely band focused get way less views. People just aren't interested in them. And that really is the whole vehicle for me doing these. I don't reinvent, I don't collect enough to really be part of the VC community properly. I don't have enough new stuff coming in to do a video every fucking week about here's what I've remortgaged the house on purchasing and blah, blah. I just don't have the time, nor the inclination. It doesn't really interest me that much. So, yeah, there's nothing that I'm particularly proud of this year, apart from I'm proud of the videos that I have managed to find time to put out, much like this one. So that's my answer to question 19. Question 20, the final one. Into Glory Ride. Name a band that you want to see one more great album from before they retire. Difficult one, this. My answer could have been Metallica. I would like them to release one more great record and then get to fuck and stop fucking filling the world with nonsense, ultimately. But, yeah, my answer to it is this. And I think, to be fair, they've already retired, quite frankly. I don't think we're going to see anything else from them again in the near future. Faith No More. This is their last album, Sol Invictus. That came out, was it 2016? 2015 even, I think. Yeah, 2015. It's the last album, the most current album, and probably will be the last album. But I like everything they've done. There's no bad album in their discography for me. And I'd like them to just put their heads together, because it's clear that some of them just don't like each other. But I think that was where the magic came from. Put your heads together, do one more album, and officially call it a day. Just officially say, right, that's it, that's us done. Because at the minute, even though this is likely the last thing they'll ever do together as a band, there's still that slight unknown, oh, we might do something. Just sort of stop keeping us dangling. Do something or don't. So yeah, I'd like one more thing from you. Okay, right, enough. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks to my subscribers. I've not had many. I've had a couple of new ones after the album of the year. But like 2. So I'm not getting any nearer 300. But hey, who cares ultimately? I enjoyed doing this video. So that's my entry to the Metal Tag 2026. There might be another video soon. There might not. Again, no one's that bothered, are you, really? So, I know that I'm not. So anyway, thanks for watching. Until the next time, toodle pip, adieu.